Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of Stop, Look, and Listen. I'm your host, LeTroy Gardner. This week, we have an actress and producer. She has credits that include Becky, Omicron Killer, A Gettysburg Christmas, Old Gray Mare, and she's here to promote her latest film, Deadly Escape, where she stars as news reporter Bianca Berry. We have H Town's finest, Larissa Dali. Welcome to the show, Larissa.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, great, great. So, just give us a little background into Larissa Dali. How did you fall in love with acting and break into the industry?
Wow. I've been, as long as I could remember, I wanted to tell stories. I was very, very, very young and knew this is like I wanted to be in the performing arts in some form or fashion. And then acting became the main goal at like 14.
Hmm.
So I had dance, gymnastics. I had a little bit of theater background at this point, but then, and writing. I loved writing. But then, yeah, 14, I remember I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be on TV. I'm going to be in movies. I'm going to do whatever I can to make it happen. And having a protective and the mother that I did, she wanted me to make sure that's what I wanted. And so as soon as I hit 18, I hit the ground running and got into modeling. And that took me down a completely different pathway. I go danced, I modeled, and I met some of the right people, I met some of the wrong people. I thought it would be really beneficial for my career. It ended up making it a little bit harder,
Hmm.
but I got a lot of tools from the trade and got to integrate that later on. But it made it a little bit harder for me to be taken seriously as an actress. And so I kind of had again like start from square one around, I think I was like 22, 23. So it was there was a couple hiccups and a lot of challenges, but nothing would deter me. And here I am now. I'm still climbing and still going, and I love it so very much and blessed to be exploring different avenues of this creative journey as well. As you said, producing, writing. It's very exciting.
Great. So, I like that you covered the journey, the ups and the downs. Making some of the right decisions and some of the wrong decisions, because that highlights that it doesn't happen overnight. Um, what were some of the mistakes, as far as, like you said, bringing in the wrong people, listening to their advice, and basically having to start from square one?
Yeah. Some of the big mistakes is you can't always, not everybody has your best interest. You can't trust everyone that claims that they could help you or, you know, eh, that they're going to help you, that, oh, stick with me. I'll change your life, kid. Like this the snake oil salesman. So I got a lot of I went down a few paths where I trusted the wrong people and had to learn like what that looked like and what unfortunately like taken advantage of in certain aspects of not something not quite what it seems. But
Hmm.
yeah, starting over in a sense of, okay, well, how do I put these protections in place so it doesn't happen again? Okay, I need an agent. All right, I need to verify everything through that. I need to ask the right questions. I need to vet people. So having a community around me, like meeting more people in the industry and learning how things work, on from anything to small projects to major projects. So yeah, it's some of the hiccups can be if you're not careful, they could be pretty detrimental. But in my experience and the way I like to think of things, like nothing is too far gone, right? So you can go so far down one path, but you can always uh, turn around, or there's another way to get where you need to go, and everything can be a learning experience. So, but yeah, it's been a bumpy journey. I'm very, very blessed to have people I can trust now in my circle, and the right questions to ask, having representation, things like that. So,
Hmm. That's good.
yeah.
All right. So, Like, what role do you feel like was like your big break or that point where it's like, you know what, I'm on the right track and now it's nothing but up from here?
So I I love to I have to give credit to Becky. And I didn't expect Becky to be what it was. It was out for I think almost a year, and then it went viral from like a TikTok video. And so I got a lot of exposure and a lot of attention from that. So much so that, there's a second one now that will be released this year, I believe. We filmed it the beginning of this year.
Hmm.
So Becky too is on its way. But I love to, I thank Justin for giving me that opportunity and to be able to play that character, because it really took a life of its own and people really responded to that. So and since then I've gotten a lot of opportunities, and I've filmed a lot more in different genres and things of that nature. But I think that kind of catapulted me to the next level, and now I'm working on reaching the next level of my career. So I gotta thank Becky, gotta thank Justin, gotta thank Becky.
Right. All right. So this next level is Deadly Escape. Like we said, you played Bianca Berry. Um, what drew you to that role?
Oh, it was so Lakeisha Lemons, who I'm very lucky to call a friend, and she's a mentor of mine, a huge blessing in my life, that woman. She's the writer director of Deadly Escape, and she wanted me to play the reporter role. And her herself she's in journalism. She's been in the media for quite a while. And so I had big shoes to fill because she's lived that life. So I studied very hard the cadence and kind of everything I've gathered from the news, and also what whenever I take on a role, I take it very seriously to the point of like, okay, this is me in that role. This is real, right? It's very real. When action is called, that is who I am. So it was a challenge to be that kind of the voice for the people, but also Bianca's fearless because she gets involved where of things like she shouldn't really be, but because she has pieces of information that can help authorities and that the people trust her with the truth, she kind of she gets involved in ways that she shouldn't, and I think that's admirable because of her take on things. So
Hmm.
I really like playing her. I think that I want to keep a piece of Bianca with me forever and be the voice of the people. So
How did
for
what was Lakeisha's critique of your um reporting skills?
she offered me a job. She said, "Do you do you want to work at Spectrum News?" I said, "I cannot do this. It is stressful." Because so she's like, "Okay, pretend there's a scroll. You're reporting the news. You have an earbud in, and they're reading it to you as you're doing. You're also seeing a scroll right here, and everything is getting updated to you at the same time. Go." And I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" It was extreme. It's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress that I commend anybody in that field because good for you. That is it
Yeah, it's
quite the
intense.
undertaking. It's
It's
intense.
intense. Yeah,
It's intense.
yeah, especially if there's a breaking news story and you're trying to pretty much talk on the fly and inform listeners because that's your role as a reporter is to inform listeners, but also do it
Yes.
in a way that people um, are engaged and captivated by you. So yeah, it
Yes,
is. It is a challenge for
it is.
many.
It is. So, but I guess I did well because she she said, "Do you want to work at the news station?" I said, "I don't think I could do that.
Oh.
Not all the time." Whew.
So what would you do? Would you do sports? Would you do weather? Would you sit at the desk and anchor or would you
If
be out on the scene?
if are you asking if I
Yeah,
have to
hypothetically.
hypothetically?
Hmm.
I think sports would be fun. It's not like it's intense enough because people, really care about their teams and a lot of people are involved, but not so much of like a breaking story that there's a murderer on the loose.
Hmm.
So I think sports would be fun. I think I could handle that. And I would just maybe I'd start there or weather. Everyone always looks forward to the weather.
And you can be wrong 90% of the time and be cool.
Exactly. Right. Everyone's
Hmm.
like, yeah, it changes. It's fine.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. So, like, just tell us about the movie. Tell us about Deadly Escape.
So, Deadly Escape is about a woman who breaks out of prison and ends up kidnapping a somebody, but it's not what you think. The kidnapper, there's a twist, there's a huge twist. The kidnapper turns out to not be who you think they are, and there's a lot of back and forth with who's the actual villain here. So my part in that with the detective is kind of piecing that together, and it's really, really good. There's a lot of twists and turns. I don't want to give too much away, but yes, Frida Maxwell escapes from prison and kidnaps a young guy, and shit gets crazy. How about that? It gets crazy. I advise you to watch it. You
Uh
will be highly surprised at the twists and turns for
huh.
sure.
All right, so like this is like a suspense movie,
Yeah.
but you're known for um, putting out comedic content. So like just talk about how you like shift from comedy and something scary and intense.
So for a long time, I was in the horror genre for a very long time, suspense thriller, and I've always loved comedy. So any chance that I can get, I take it. Any opportunity that I get for an audition or to vocalize and utilize those skills, I love it. I'm silly, I'm goofy. I think comedy is one of the most amazing genres because you can do anything with it. So there's truth in comedy that there isn't in any other genre because there's like goofy comedy, but then there's like serious comedy, there's romance comedy, there's scary comedy, there's comedy where it's you can laugh, but then there's also a very real moment where it could be heartfelt. So it's one of my favorite things, and I think it's one of the most beautiful human expressions. So I'm very fortunate to be getting more opportunities and playing that and showcasing those skills. So bring it to me. I'm ready.
Dr. Todd McLean provides periodontal and dental implant services in 2 convenient locations. They offer over a decade of experience treating patients, and appointments can even be scheduled in the evenings, weekends, or early mornings. Give them a call in Chapel Hill at 919-537-9774 or in Durham at 919-484-8338 or visit them online at gumsandimplants.org.
So just talk about the cast for Deadly Escape and working with the whole team.
So I worked like really close with Dakari, who played the detective, and it was really great working with him as an actor because he's very serious about his craft, and I love being on screen with somebody where I can it elevates me. You want that as an artist. You want somebody that's gonna bring out the best in you, and vice versa. So somebody
Hmm.
that's gonna has put the work in and cares just as much as you do about their craft. So, and then working again with like Lakeisha Lemons is, I love that woman so, so, so much. I've been warning her that I've been talking about her a lot in like my podcast interviews and stuff. I was like,
Right.
just warning you, your name has been brought up because I love her, and she's granted me so many opportunities and introduced me to so many people to she's believed in me, and she still does, and she really sees something in me, and I'm just very, very fortunate to continue to work with her. Yeah, Dee Hill was phenomenal. She was the main actress. The whole cast, they did such a beautiful job at casting every single piece of that. So very fortunate. And I not only have I worked with all of those actors, I've had the opportunity or will have the opportunity to work with them again. So it's really exciting.
Yeah.
It's great. What a that's a beautiful thing.
cool. Um, I I like that you mentioned early on about how you live in the character. Just talk about how hard it is to get in and out of a character. Um, and like how much do you bring from your own personal experience into a character, and then how much of that character becomes you afterwards.
So it's really dependent upon the character how difficult it is to become them. So, for instance, with Old Gray Mare becoming Robin, I had to do a little bit more work on that because it's something that didn't directly relate to me.
Hmm.
So it was a little bit harder, and I really had to go and dig in deep. But doesn't mean I can't connect to it, right? Eventually, we all can connect because we're all humans and we all have an imagination. So it's about like the depth of which we allow ourselves to go. And something, for instance, for a character like I'm playing a character, her name is Carrie, in the upcoming film with Courtney Glaudet called As Love Is. And it's a smaller role. And for me to get to where she is, it's not going to be as difficult because there's a lot of pieces I feel like are relatable and that the character itself doesn't have that much depth. But in the flip side of that, to answer like your other questions, it's about how much depth I'm going to bring to it, right? So just because on paper it may not seem to the eye, okay, oh, this person, she's lackluster or he's lackluster on the page. That's up to me as the artist, right? Just because I
Hmm.
have maybe two scenes, let's call it two scenes, doesn't mean I can't give that person rich depth and backstory of knowing who I am. And a lot of the times I don't take pieces of my personal life. I can take experiences and then other people's experiences, especially if I hadn't had my own, and like piece them in. But I try to do the what's called homework. It's like a meditative state where I get into and I envision these things happening or pieces of my life as this person. And so when a project is over, a piece of me feels I used to be very morbid. I'm like, oh, I feel like that piece of me dies. But now I don't think it dies. I think it integrates back into me as I've opened up this new door of this new piece of myself that I never looked at before, right?
Hmm.
So it's really interesting and all dependent upon like the character I get and how far I'm willing to take it or able to take it depending on who I'm working with. So I could talk obviously very in depth about that question.
Well, I
So
mean that to me that's interesting,
it's very
and
interesting.
like whenever I talk to an actor, I always want to get the mindset behind that because there's some actors that had to gain a lot of weight, like Will Smith playing Muhammad Ali, or lose a lot of weight for a role like Dwayne Johnson in his current movie, and then there's others that have to go to a deep dark place, like Heath Ledger, playing the Joker, and just how how you get to that point of like this character is me right now, like I'm totally engrossed in it, so I'm always intrigued by that.
It's difficult, you know. It's again, sometimes it's easier than others depending like we were speaking about like depending on the character. And when you have to go to those deep dark places or you're in a really intense moment and it, it's hard to switch on and off. Like you kind of want to go through that and process it. And so say you have to do another take and everybody says cut, like a lot of the times, a lot of actors I know, we want to stay in that mindset because it takes so much energy to shift back and forth. And for your psyche, it's like, okay, your body doesn't know the difference, right? Your body doesn't know the difference that you are not really scared right now. Your mind might know. But if you really go to these places, like physically, biologically your body doesn't know the difference. So it's very interesting because like I remember for instance on Becky at one point, I think who was it? It was the sound guy. They could hear like my heart racing. They're like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No, yeah, I'm scared. I'm about to and in the part of the movie, I'm about to break in and like poison somebody. I was like, I'm scared right now. And they're like, oh, I'm like, no, like I'm physically scared. Like I understand what I'm doing is fake, but once you call action, this is real to me. So yeah, it's difficult, and like that's why you talked about some of the greats like Will Smith, and they do what they do at an extreme level, and they get paid the big bucks, and we have to go to those places if you want to convey truth in that story. And you can tell when you watch a movie and someone's like not into it. They're like, you're phoning that in. It's not real. I never, it's like my biggest, I don't ever want anyone to be like, she phoned that in. No, I want her to be like, wow, she went there. She went
Uh-huh.
there.
Right.
So,
Um, yeah. I actually had a question and I just completely lost it just that second. But like how is it working, with Tyler?
so I didn't get to work one-on-one with Tyler. The Old Gray Mare was produced by and with Tyler Perry Studios, but
Uh-huh.
working with Courtney Glade is phenomenal. I'm sure Tyler would be amazing as well. I've heard nothing but great things, but working for his studio and for his people was just lovely, and I'm very fortunate I get to do that again and next week. So,
What kind of like roles or stories like do you want to explore like that fans might not expect from you?
oh, I th- uh, I want to explore more female-led driven comedies and maybe tell some stories of like a lot of the times you see movies where a man would be in the role. I think it'd be really fun to do like a woman's point of view. Like, and there's a lot more coming out of women told stories in like, for instance, like, somebody in a mafia boss or I think going back to the comedy aspect, a lot of the times you're seeing more. Again, you're seeing more. I know that's changing, but like women in that lead comedic role, whatever it may be, if it's like slapstick to something more satirical or whatever, I really would love to tell those stories as well as like higher consciousness and like high vibration stories that really make people want to elevate themselves. So, however that I can get that onto screen, I'd love to like work towards something like that.
Right. All right, so the question that I did forget,
Good.
got it back. So like have you had any of the fan encounters where they come up to you and say, "Hey, I recognize you," or they address you by one of your characters' names? Have you had one of those yet?
I actually have. I've been with Becky. I've been recognized for Becky out in public. It's been very seldom, but I have. And then online, so it's a running joke now that so my name is Larissa, but when we were working on like Becky too, everyone was calling me Becky, Becky, like, and I was needed so much that so at one point I was like, Becky is disappearing. And so there's an inside joke that I'm La Becky because it was combined like Larissa and Becky, La Becky. But
Yeah.
yes, I have. Um, and I think it's really cool because once I start getting recognized, I hope it happens more because then I know that my work is impacting people and people are watching it and I'm standing out. So that's incredible that what I'm doing is like paying off and I'm getting recognized for that. So that's really cool for that to start happening more. But it has happened, doesn't happen a lot.
Right.
Maybe now it will after we speak. It's gonna that'd be so cool. I would call you immediately. Like, guess what?
Somebody called me by Bianca, called me Bianca
Uh-huh.
in the streets.
Like, Miss
Yeah.
Berry.
You did an amazing job reporting. Like you made me proud, you know?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so like what's something about you that people would find most surprising?
What's something about me that people would find most surprising? That's a good question. I like to give different answers to like I've been asked this a couple times and I like to give different answers. So what's coming up to me for me now is that um, I think something that people would find most surprising is that like I struggle. I struggle with I'm a very positive person, but I struggle mentally. I struggle with staying that way and balancing my mental health. So, and being very open about it lately and very vulnerable and learning how to show up at not 100% is okay. And that surprises me. So I feel like that would surprise other people that I'm learning how to show up where I don't have to be 100% or be on. I can just show up as me and be like, look, I'm going through some stuff right now and I'm taking it as it comes, and it's okay not to be okay all the time. So I think that's would be most surprising because that's something that's very new to me, and it's most surprising to me that, it's okay not to be okay all the time.
Right. And it's totally understandable. Like you're in a field where you're in the public eye and people are critiquing your work or the movie itself, or like if you're auditioning for a role that you poured your heart into and find out that somebody else is getting it, like I'm sure that's emotionally taxing.
Yeah, there's the career is very itself is very emotionally taxing, and there's pieces of it that I've grown to not let get to me anymore. And then there's still a lot of healing in life that things I've been through that I think that are something I've healed, and then a piece of it comes up and it bubbles up and I'm processing it. And so I'm allowing those feelings to come up a lot more, and all of those feelings when I was younger that I would just shove down because I'm like, I was not healthy and not expressing those or understanding those. And now, like having it all come to light and going through those dark places, it again, like this industry is very healing in that aspect. But through that healing process, it doesn't always look pretty. It's
Hmm.
not always like sometimes it gets real ugly, and it's okay to not fear that and to accept that part of ourselves, which is something that was really hard for me to come to terms with.
Right. What do you see when you look in the mirror?
Depends on the day. Oh, depends on the day. Right now, oh no. Oh God, I'm tired. I'm swollen. I cried so hard last night. I had a very emotional night last night. It's a full
Hmm.
moon, everybody. It's an Aries super moon today, October 6th. Um, Whenever you're watching this, that's like right now for me.
Right.
But normally when I look in the mirror, I I try to tell myself something good because I'm the one person I'm super hyper critical of myself. So I'll go to like say something, like point out a flaw, and I say no, and I change my perspective, and I'm like, I love you. You're beautiful. You're enough. So it's kind of rewiring my brain for that. But today is a one of those challenging days, Troy. It's a challenging day. So, but it depends on the day.
Yeah.
I
Well,
like to
you are enough. You are enough.
thank you. That's my mantra. That is my mantra. You are
Hmm.
enough.
Great. Um, so plug the movie. Where can fans see Deadly Escape? And then where can we find you?
Deadly Escape is on Amazon Prime and Tubi. It's doing its Tubi launch. It's doing wonderful. It was on Most Popular, I think, last week or the week before. It's doing really well. So please continue to watch, to love, give feedback, and you can find me on Instagram and TikTok, are where I'm most active, and it's Lolly Dolly. Lolly like Lolly, Dolly like my last name, Dali. And this month we will be launching my website, so everything will be streamlined, so it could be one place where you can find me. Just type in Larissa Dali, and I should pop up, and that website will be up for you guys shortly.
All right. All right. So, Larissa, leave us with a parting shot. Um, I mean, I kind of like the way we were ending it with, um, like the self doubt and picking yourself up. So, feel free to leave us with some inspiring words.
Okay. Yeah, we could kind of circle back to that. It's every time I fall down now with the self-doubt, or if I'm struggling emotionally and healing through something, or, you know, the growth of being a human and acknowledging that and being aware and just I love myself even more coming out of it because I become stronger. It's not a weakness to be vulnerable. It's a strength to be able to look at yourself in all aspects of that, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the more you can do that, the more you can shine and be your true self. So please, please love yourself. You are enough.
Mic drop.
I appreciate that.
Yep. Larissa Dali. You can find her, like she said, Lolly Dolly on social media. Check out Deadly Escape on Tubi, Prime Video, Fawsome TV, and YouTube, where you can see this young lady playing Bianca Berry, your favorite news reporter. Uh, Thank you for your time, Larissa.
Thank you so much.
Hope your spirits are lifted with this conversation,
Yes.
and you can get that rest, and continue that upward mobility to the top. We're cheering for you here at Stop, Look, and Listen.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Truly, stay blessed. Thank
You
you.
too. All right. So for Stop, Look, and Listen, I'm your host, LeTroy Gardner. See you next week. Peace and blessings.